Well, good evening, everyone. And we've had a center in Berkeley for many years, and I've been blessed to be the leader of that center for 30 years. And I guess Berkeley, I was born in Berkeley, so somehow it's my place. And so I'd like to tell you some stories about my time with Swamiji. And you would think in 30 years there'd be many, many stories, but their personal stories are few, but times with Swamiji are many. And many of those times are just being in an audience or at a satsang, but just getting the heart feeling from Swamiji of that divine connection. And the other part is Swamiji's music. To connect with Swamiji, you must connect with his music. It's most important. And we're so lucky on this path to have so much music. And you have Dharmini, who's special. So if you haven't joined the choir yet, which I'm sure probably most of you are in, you should join it, because Swamiji's music is very special. And recently, I was watching something on the internet, and it was about music, and it was about people with Alzheimer's, elderly people with Alzheimer's, and they were sitting in their chairs, some of them, just kind of like they were asleep, and they would bring an iPod in and put music in their ears, music that either they grew up with or some music that they were connected with. And they would start to move their head. And this one person in particular, he had grown up with jazz music. And then he started to move to the beat. And then he started singing the song. And this is somebody who is just kind of just in the chair. And then he actually, the person that had given him the iPod started asking him questions, and he started talking about the music and about his connection. And when I saw that, I thought, we're very lucky, because when we become elderly, we can put on some Swamiji's music, and it's going to take us to bliss. I mean, Swamiji's music is the most uplifting music there is. It just takes you to the higher realms. And, I thought, I'm so lucky. When I get elderly, I get to listen to this special music. So that's one way that even if you haven't met Swamiji, you can tune into him and you can feel his presence. And I always keep his music in the car, and I alternate between tapes and music, and because just having that music is very very uplifting, and it's very good. It will change your vibration and bring you deeper into your meditations, and just is very good for the spiritual path. And then over the years, over my 30 years, I've had at least 30, maybe more, probably 60, blessings at least twice a year from Swamiji. And on his birthday at Ananda Village, he would always have a big crowd of people, and we'd give him a birthday cake, and he would bless each person. And there might be 200 people, and he would sit in his chair, and each person would go and kneel in front of him, and he'd bless you. And he made you feel like, you were, at that moment, he was just connecting just with you, and like he has really known you, and you are his best friend. And he had that incredible quality of connecting with people. And even for the few minutes, 3 minutes that he was blessing you and saying hello, you would really connect. And you would, again, feel that heart quality from Swamiji coming straight into your heart. And you were like his friend, and you just met him, and he's just blessing you. But he had that quality to open your heart with just a blessing. And because I was thinking of different stories, I remember my last blessing from Swamiji was on his birthday. I guess it was year 2012, and it was very special. And for many years, every time, well, once Swamiji came to India, every time on his birthday when he would bless me, he would say, "And Karpani, when are you coming back to India?" And then I would tell him, "Oh, next year, yes, I will come." And then because I said that, I would come. So I think I've come every year for the last 12 years. Because if you say something to Swamiji, you had to keep your promise. Because Swamiji was also a person who would, if he said something, he would do it. There were stories about, like, people would, in Palo Alto, would take him to Carmel. And if he went to a little shop and he told the owner, "Oh, I'll be back later," he would come back. If he says, "If you say it, you must do it. So don't say anything that you're not going to do, because if you say something, you have to, it's the truth. So you have to, follow through." And then there were many times in India that Dhyanaji and I would, this was when things just started in India, and it was very small. So we would go with some monks, and we would go to, I think Bangalore was one of our first cities that we would go to. And Swamiji, we would always go over and get his blessing, and he would bless us, and we felt kind of like Krishna's soldiers. We're going out now. And we didn't know what we were going to do, but we were going out to spread the work. And so that was very special. The other time I was trying to remember was the first time Swami came to our center in Berkeley. We had a big center. It was about, 750 square feet. I don't know how many meters that is, but we had a nice big space, and we had it for a couple years, and Swami was coming to make me a minister. And of course, if Swami's coming to your center, no matter how small or big it is, it's like, oh my goodness, Swamiji's coming, we have to get everything just perfect. And of course, all our members were cleaning and setting up the altar and making everything just perfect. Well, one of our members put a picture of Swamiji, not on the main altar with the gurus, but on a lower table right in front of the main altar. So, coming in, we meditated for a very long time, and we sang songs. And then Swamiji had me stand up, and he looked at the picture, and he said, "We have 5 masters in our lineage, and they're up there." And he said, my picture should not be on the altar. And so I wasn't the one who put it there, but I was like, "Yes, Swamiji." And we took it off. He goes, "I'm a disciple, and these are the masters." Now, Swamiji, his role was, he's the best disciple there ever was. And his role as a disciple was to show us how to be a disciple, what it means, it being new on the path. And especially in America, we didn't America's more of a Christian country, although so many of us have changed gears, and we're incorporating now this wonderful path that is East and West. But we're not used to having lineages of gurus and disciples, and so we have to learn about that. But Swamiji was, everything he did in his life, he did as a disciple of Master. And he did it to the best of his ability, and he gave us the perfect example. He lived his whole life to serve his guru, and everything he did was about service. And so it was a perfect example for us to learn and understand how to be serviceful and how to be a good disciple. So when he said that about his picture, he didn't want to elevate himself up to one of the masters. Now Swamiji has passed, and of course we do keep his picture very close, and he is, because he's he's in the direct lineage of the gurus. And so it's very special for us to have known him, those who haven't. But those of you who haven't, you're very close. You're it's like you're maybe one step away. And that's very special. And Swamiji said, this work in India, he would tell the people who were new when he first came here, this is not my work, it's not your work. This work is Babaji's work, and this work is Master's work. But now that Swamiji's passed, I feel it's still appropriate to say this is also Swamiji's work. He's the next in the lineage. And he did so much to bring Yogananda's work back to India. It's in the Ananda way, which is so special, because the Ananda way is about community and service and meditation. I think those three things are what is our path. And so that time when he did come to Berkeley was very special for us. And again, he blessed me, and this time I became a minister, and that was very special for me. And I thought, I don't know, Lord, how I could be so lucky to be a minister. But as a minister, it was my special blessing to be of service to people. And that's what I love most, is just being able to serve people and to be helpful. And let's see, I was trying to think of other stories. So in around year 2000, I think, 2000, maybe two. I was trying to remember the first time I came to India with a group. And it was a group of Ananda pilgrims. The tour was led by Asha and David and Vidura and Durga. And we went all over to the holy sites in India, especially those connected with Master, to his home and to many places. And that was a very special tour for me, because it was 3 weeks. It was where my heart opened, and I just fell in love with India. I must have been here before because it was a very special trip, and I wanted to come back. Well, soon after that was when Swamiji came, maybe a year or 2 years, when Swamiji came to India. And so I thought, I want to come back again. And at that time when Swamiji was first in India, in Gurgaon, he invited many people from America and from Italy to come help. And at one time, it was mainly Americans and Europeans, but we were kind of like the pioneers coming back to India. It was kind of the strangest thing for the Westerners to come back to India to bring yoga and meditation. If you scratch your head, it is kind of strange. But when people ask me about it, I say that it was just the right thing. It's bringing Yogananda's lineage back to where it needs to be. And I think for Swamiji to do that, he needed to have people that he had already trained here. So that's why he invited people from America and Europe. And at one time, I think there were 30 people living, Westerners from either Europe or America, living in, we called it B10 by 8, but the ashram house in Gurgaon. And we had the Americans and Europeans that had been already with Swamiji for a number of years, knew how to sing the songs, they knew how to be serviceful in the Ananda way. And so we came, and then many of you here and in other places in Gurgaon were attracted to this path and came, and we all started working together. And now when I come back, it's the reverse. It's mainly all my Indian brothers and sisters and just a few of us Westerners. And that's been in this really short time of 10 years. it gives me goosebumps to say that because it's very special. And so now you're the ones here in Chennai that will continue with this work, and you're very close to the heart of it. I was also here for that. It was Swamiji's last big satsang, and it was in Chennai. And as Dharmaraj said, 2,000 people got in, and there were many more who couldn't get in. And I was trying to remember what he said, but I can't remember. But it's not the words. When you're around Swamiji, it was the vibration. And even sometimes the night after, you couldn't remember the words. You would remember a few little things, but the vibration of his connection with us. And even in a big audience of many people, it still felt like Swamiji was talking just to you. And somehow he had that power to talk to each person. And he, I think, would tune into the audience, but he knew what you needed. And somehow a little word here or there would just touch you, and it would be, oh, he's talking to me. Oh, I better be good, or I better do my meditation better, or I better be more serviceful. I mean, even in those big talks. And so that was a very special, and that was his last big talk, and it was here in Chennai, so that must mean something special for all of you. And then after, I had opportunity to be with him at dinner with Dhyana, and he was talking about many things, but then one thing he did say was very special. He said, we need a center in Chennai. And then he said, I think Dharmaraj and Dharmini would be the best people to have here. And so he put it in the ether, and guess what? Look who's here, and this is what happened. So you're all part of this. It's a wave that goes out, and you're part of the beginning of this big wave that's starting here in Chennai. And there's people asked, I don't know if it was Swami asked Yogananda, have I been your disciple before, and different things, and will I make it on the path? And Yogananda would say, if you're here, and I'm saying this to all of you, you have very, very, very good karma to just be here and be on this spiritual path. And yes, you will go far. And you just have that good karma to be here at this time. It's a special time. It's a time of expansion. And so work with Dharmaraj and Dharmini and help expand this work. And then to know Swami, if you didn't get to meet him personally, tune into his music. And tune into his satsangs. They're on the web. Every now and then it's like I kind of like miss Swamiji. So I just go on the internet and click, and you can even see him, It's so wonderful that this time and age we're in. So just remember, you're a part of this new wave, and you have very, very, very good karma if you're here. Thank you. Well, let me tell you one more story. When Swami came to the Berkeley Center, we were very bad at the singing, but we knew we had to sing a song. So we gave ourselves the nickname, the Brave Souls. And we got up there, and we weren't on key, and we knew it, but we were the Brave Souls, and we told Swamiji our name, and we told him we didn't have much experience, and we sang, what did we sing? Lord Most High, our Heavenly Father. We didn't sing it in harmony, because, oh, you did a good job. Next time, sing it in harmony. And so we were, so come and sing.